Hello, kitties. We're going to have a really good Black Friday together. We thought, this being the season of giving and all, we would give too. So here is an extra episode, an interview with Tommy and Baba Bouy from Yachtley Crew that ran on our sister show, Why the Podcast. And we thought there's enough music stuff in here you might enjoy. So enjoy this conversation. We will be back next Wednesday with a brand new episode. Rock on. One thing before the children come in here and ruin everything that we need to talk about. And I sent you this article, and I know this is not a political podcast.
It is not.
But so a few days ago, the folks at QAnon were gathering in Dallas because apparently JFK Jr. was going to be coming back from the dead, or I guess had been hiding out. He was not that he was dead previous. Correct. He was right. So he was supposed to come back on November 2nd, join up with Donald Trump, take the VP role and save America again. Again. And again, no, this is not a political show. So
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
Of all the places to reappear after being gone for so long, I feel like Dealey Plaza and a Kennedy, not the most thoughtful of locales.
No.
As an aside.
I feel like maybe I don't know, New York Athletic Club.
Hyannisport, lovely this time of year. Yeah.
I mean, I could see not wanting like the family reunion, so I could see maybe not.
Oh, good point. Yeah, good point.
But Manhattan.
Yeah.
Central Park. Lovely. Central Park's lovely in November.
His mother loved Central Park.
Yes.
So this didn't work out, believe it or not. JFK Jr. did not come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently, and this was in Newsweek, so you know it's legit.
Yes.
That the rumor going around this group of folks was that maybe JFK Jr. wasn't going to be coming back at Dealey Plaza because somebody was like, oh yeah, that would be kind of creepy. But he possibly was going to return at the Stone show that night in Dallas.
Right.
Because always things go really well at Stone's shows in Dallas.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where Mick Jagger was threatened with arrest if they inflated that thing in the 70s? Anyway. So, and here's my thought. And I feel like we can take all of this and make something good out of it. Mm-hmm. One of the other big news stories as of late has been Eric Clapton.
Yes.
Where some comments he made in the 70s that completely inexcusable, which he for decades has just passed off as, oh, that's what happens when you're on heroin, and everybody else saying, I don't think you become racist on heroin.
Right.
You become tired, but not.
Right.
And then now he's become very anti-vax and does not believe that the vaccine is necessary. So here is my thought. Okay. Because the QAnon people went to the show to see the Stones, which frankly, that they got a ticket, like at least you got something out of the deal. You got a good show. But they came away, I think they took the wrong message away from the Stone show.
Did they?
I think so, because they did not come back with saying, wow, they've still got it. They are still, the world's greatest rock and roll band. Well, Mick is a front person par excellence. They came away with the idea that perhaps Keith Richards is actually JFK.
I know, but
so it is fascinating. But here's my thought to take all of these weird tangential things. Mm-hmm. The popular graffiti in London, when Eric Clapton was just coming up and starting out with the Yardbirds and with Cream and everything else, you saw it spray painted all over London.
What?
Clapton is God, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. So this was the popular thing to spray paint on stuff in London.
Mm-hmm. So
now what I'm thinking is Eric Clapton, I think we have all, I hope as a society, said, well, after midnight's fine, but maybe we don't want to hang out and, have a dinner together. Yeah. We don't want to let it all hang out, certainly. So we take that thought, that idea of this Clapton is God thing, and we take this idea that Keith Richards is not the type of person one wants to emulate and hang out with and spend a lot of time with.
we really? Wait, I disagree.
Stay with me. Stay with me. Again, not a political show. Some
Hold on.
people perhaps have not come to that realization about Keith as a person, right? So if this QAnon theory is true, okay,
Mhm.
Keith is not maybe the good time guy we all thought he was and has been showing us for the past 60 some years. I don't know
Mhm.
how, but again, not a political show.
Right.
If he is indeed the 34th president of the United States, it
Mhm.
raises a lot of questions,
It does.
mostly how he wrote Start Me Up. But here's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
We stop writing Clapton is God on stuff. Instead, we start writing, it's even less letters, Keef, Keef, because I think that's what he would want.
Yes.
Keef is JFK, and just start spraying that everywhere. What do you say?
I'm totally down with that. It makes me realize I should wear my Keith Richards for President t-shirt more. 'Cause
Yes, you
clearly
should.
I was in the know, and now people will, like, who normally would think that I was crazy because I'm not a QAnon. Those QAnons might like me more.
This is not a political show.
It's not a political show.
No.
But see, I've gone far. See, my whole contemplation is because they've gone on to say that the Stones are all Kennedys. So,
But what era
instead-
of Stone are we talking about?
well, it seems very like Face Off, right? Isn't that the whole thing? And they're all
This
very
is.
perplexed as to why they're going to be in Detroit in 2 weeks.
Right. Well, I mean, I
And I'm
again,
stealing this from a friend of mine, but where is Johnny Depp in all this?
where's Johnny Depp? Never mind that. Where is Mick Taylor? Where is Bill Wyman?
No,
What about
but-
Chuck Leavell? What about, I mean,
But isn't
Nikki
that what makes
Hopkins
this
was
guy
all these
so-
people.
So
I-
amazing. Now, I personally, and a lot of people would disagree.
Sure. I mean, not
I
a
would
political
rather
show.
spend an evening
Right.
with Keith Richards than any era of JFK.
Again, not a political show, but I see
No.
where you're coming
And
from.
it's not
Makes
about
sense.
JFK politics, because I
No.
would have voted for him at the time.
but not a
but-
political show. Doesn't
Not a
matter.
political show. But I just think that I would have a better time at a Keith party than a JFK party.
Oh, I think that hands down, you definitely would.
Right. And that's
Everybody
what
would.
I prioritize is where am I going to have a better party?
Can see us fine?
We can.
You hear us
Hey.
good and everything?
Yep, it's perfect.
Awesome.
Where are you sailing at the moment?
Yeah, what port are you guys in right
We
now?
are in Los Angeles,
Port of Los Angeles.
Oh,
Oh, outstanding.
San Fernando Valley.
Yeah. Known fact
is
is
that is that where you usually dry dock for the winter, or
yeah,
Pretty
we're
much.
pretty much all like sparse throughout the
The Valleys,
San Fernando Valley.
Ventura.
Yeah, Ventura County.
thank you so much for your time. This is lovely. When
Yeah.
we got the email, I don't think either one of us could have written back, oh God, yes, please, fast enough.
Mhm.
So I guess what came first, the Yachtley or the Crew?
In terms of the name, you mean, or like?
All of it. I mean, did you
All
guys, yeah, were you hanging out on various vessels prior to forming the group?
We were all in different bands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the drummer, Sailor Hawkins. I'm Baba Bouy, by the way.
We should
Yes.
introduce ourselves.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Bouy. I'm his fictional brother, Tommy Bouy, and we have to have our yacht rock names, you know.
And we
Of
have,
course.
Yes.
Sailor Hawkins is the drummer, and me and Sailor have been in bands for years and years and years. We've been in all kinds of bands, original bands, 80s bands. And then I just got tired of listening to all the rock music because I'm a rocker. And I started listening to soft rock. And I was like, man, we should start a band doing this stuff. And Sailor was like, yeah, let's do it. And it pretty much was born, and we were in the jacuzzi with our wives talking about starting this band. And our wives were like,
Perfect way to start.
don't start another band. But we did, and they've been very supportive, and it took off. And we got
Yeah.
Tommy Bouy, we got Pauly Shores.
Our singer
Our
Philly
singer,
Ocean,
Philly
and Stony
Ocean.
Shores, our keyboard player, And it's honestly been like a rocket ride since we started this. Like, it's just been like, fans have responded immediately. People love this music. People love those bands from back in the 70s and 80s, and they come out to show it, you know. It's been crazy.
So is there, as fictional brothers, is there an actual sort of origin story that goes along with each of your characters, or is it just?
It was actually really, I would say it was really organic. Our drummer, who we now call Sailor Hawkins, started just randomly, because my name's Tommy, he started calling me Tommy Boy, and then he would say Tommy Bouy because of Yacht Rock. And then, well, if he's Tommy Bouy, he's a big Howard Stern fan, so we started calling him Baba Bouy.
Okay.
Of course.
And then, so now it's like, well, everybody's going to have a name. And it was really kind of like, we didn't really sit and think like, oh, we're going to all have names and have these fictional characters. And it kind of just worked out that way. But it's been really cool because the fans kind of all know us as those characters, you know?
Well, it's a great, I mean, the music itself, kind of the fact that you're playing some of the greatest hits of this era and this type of music, it sort of endears yourself to any audience any night when you can walk out and just drop a careless whisper as you're open. And I mean, please, you have set sail already, to coin a phrase. But it feels like, I mean, it seems like just a giant party every show. Looking at the footage online, reading about you guys, like, it just seems like, why else? How could this not succeed? Like, you're going out there saying, let's all have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, these songs are all like you mentioned, they're just, we play like number one hit after number one hit for the whole night, you know, and we try to play them really close to the record as well. But we also tell each other like, hey, a lot of bands can just go up and play these songs, but like, we're going to put on a show and we're going to throw a party, you know. And he likes to, he's a big Kiss fan. He likes to say like, we're the Kiss of soft rock. And like, you know, if you come see our show, you realize that we got lights, we've got smoke, we've got dance moves, we've got gimmicks, and it's a lot of fun.
And the crowd likes to participate a lot because they come dressed up like us, or even better than us.
Yeah,
they wear their yacht attire, and people like to dress up and wear captain's hats. That's just it. They love captain's hats, sunglasses.
And if you show up to the show and you're not dressed up, you kind of feel left out. So then all of a sudden everyone's like, I need to get a captain's hat.
Everyone joins in.
Like, it's the thing, you know.
What is it about a captain's hat? I don't disagree with you. I wholeheartedly love to. My dog's name is Captain.
They're just universally cool for men or women. You know, like, everybody loves wearing a captain's hat.
Everybody looks
everyone wants
good
to be
in
the
one.
captain.
That's true.
Don't we look good?
Look.
You do.
Oh, no,
You're
please.
like the handsomest guys we've had on the show ever. And that says a lot. We've had a lot of good looking men on the show. So to that point with the fans, we talked to one of the guys from Air Supply, and like, their fans are the airheads.
Mhm.
What are Yachtley Crew's fans called?
Groupies.
Oh,
Of course.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, why would I even ask such a dumb question? I should have known the answer.
The groupies are the heart and soul.
They're
of this
hardcore.
whole
They're
thing.
hardcore fans. They come see us. They travel to see us.
It's great. We see some of the same people at shows all over the place. We're like, you came out again? Like, yeah,
When
we
we
drove
went-
4 hours to be here. You know,
we
all
went
the
to
time.
Nashville. We had fans come out. We
Right.
had people fly out to where we were. It was crazy.
Even the landlubbers, if I may,
Yeah.
in Nashville
Well,
are
This is like their chance to be on the sea, even if they never get to be. You know?
very good point. Yeah.
So obviously, being from Detroit, so obviously I'm a Detroit Rock City girl. Where are the best fans?
Don't answer that, man. The trap.
It is.
Kiss would tell us Detroit.
Yeah.
We have yet to play Detroit, so we have to see that. But
You have to come to Detroit.
I
Yeah.
think San Diego is the craziest ones. San Diego, Arizona,
it's hard to choose. We have crazy fans everywhere.
Chicago was
But-
good.
Yeah.
Where else? Baltimore. Baltimore was off the hook.
Crazy. Yeah.
Those guys are crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's always crazy when we play. It doesn't matter where we're at. People just go nuts.
Do you have opening acts? Because I'm assuming closing after you is just a
No, we
biggest
usually
challenge for
don't have
anyone.
one. We don't have one. We don't need
Right.
one.
Sometimes we have a DJ that will spin some other yacht rock tunes, so it's just a whole night of yacht rock.
Yeah.
So when you come out to our show, be prepared to just hear all these songs that you love. You know.
So yacht rock, though super, super beloved, there's a lot of controversy and argument over what actually qualifies as yacht rock.
We try not to like go down that path too much. Like we try to play, like we play a lot of right down the middle yacht rock stuff, but we have a few stuff that's on the fringe or maybe even definitely not, but kind of is smooth music, you know, because you can split hairs over what is and what isn't. And at the end of the day, we let the fans decide.
Yeah.
We've played a lot of these different songs. And if the fans respond to it, then we're going to play it, you know? So in that way, it's like trial and error. And over time, we've now like, you know, we know what the big hitters are.
Well, and to that end, how often do you change up the set list and drop some new stuff in?
All the time.
Yeah.
We have about a list of about, I don't know, 80, 90 songs that we know. And then we just kind of switch them up a little bit.
Right.
But we play the standards all the time.
We have the staple. You're going to always hear the Pina Colada song in our
Always.
set. Or in your,
Well, please.
generally, yeah. I mean, how long, low down, those are songs that we
Africa.
kind of,
Well, this is an amateur hour. You guys are gonna. Is there any song that you guys have rehearsed and convinced yourselves like this is gonna kill, and then you get out there and you start and it just sort of like
I can name
lays
one.
there?
Thunder Island.
Thunder Island. Yeah.
What?
Really?
We
No,
love,
Thunder Island is hands down my favorite yacht rock song of all time.
We love it. We love it.
We
too.
opened with it at the Viper Room, and the crowd looked at us like, "What's going on?
What is this song?"
What?
Like, but it was crazy because a lot of people were requesting it. So it's like sometimes, you know, it's not always what it
So
seems.
there's like 3 or 4 people that are like, "Yeah, this song rules," but it's only like 3 or 4 people, you know.
Right. I remember we did "Do It Again" by Steely Dan as well, and we thought like this is just a classic Steely Dan, and it's just such a chill song. And if you come to our show, it's such high energy that I think it was just like a little, you know, we play other Steely Dan, we play Peg, and that goes over great. And, you know, it's like, I would never hate on Steely Dan, and I love that song, "Do It Again." But, you know, we tend to not really play it anymore because, you know, like I said before, the fans tell us what they want to hear.
So when you come to Detroit, you have to put Thunder Island back in rotation because I guarantee you it will kill. And you have to dedicate it to me. Yes.
You might be coming there when we go to Chicago.
That's
Perfect.
Yeah.
In June, yeah.
In June.
I will be there
What
and
are-
I will have a crowd and it will rock.
And a captain's hat.
And a captain's hat.
Gotta.
What are some of the killers that just every night just brings the house down? I'm assuming "Come Sail Away" from what I've seen online.
That one does,
Looks like
yeah.
that's
Always kills. Pina Colada always kills.
Africa,
Africa.
Reeling in the Years.
Stealing in the Years.
Oh,
Call Me
okay.
Al.
Yeah. Ride Like the Wind.
Oh yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Sailing. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, they're all great songs. That's the thing.
No, yeah, exactly. We're really splitting hairs here. What have you heard from any of the originators of these songs, some of the writers, and have you gotten to perform with anyone?
Yes and yes.
yes and yes.
So we've played with Peter Beckett, who is from Player,
Several
who wrote
times.
Baby Come Back,
Yeah.
several times.
Oh.
Also Elliot Lurie, who wrote and sings Brandy. He was the lead singer of Looking Glass. Who else? Was there somebody else?
I think.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's about
so it's been, even I sing Brandy every night when we play. And the fact that like I was standing there next to Elliot singing it, I was just like, where am I right now?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do they get it? Do they appreciate what you guys are doing?
I mean, I think it depends on the rocker that you talk to. Like
Mhm.
Elliot and Peter are super into it. And
They're embracing it.
They're embracing
it's
it.
good for their
sure.
careers. They love it. I mean, we're bringing that stuff
I've seen
back.
others online that aren't, that they think, because they think it's a term of like an insulting term, like to call it yacht rock.
Boss
And
Gags doesn't like it.
Boss Gags doesn't like it.
Mhm.
Steve Lukather from Toto is a little, I've seen him online. He like kind of gets it's a joke, but he doesn't actually love the term. You know? But like where we're coming from, we didn't invent the term yacht rock. That was like a thing. And, you know, we just like, we're coming from a place of love, you know, we're just saying like these are the greatest musicians ever. And as far as we're concerned, and they really are, you know, it's not just like, oh, the songwriting is great, but the actual musicianship is amazing too. So we're coming from a place of love and respect for those guys. So that's all we'll say.
To that point of learning all the different songs and the whole catalog of all these bands and performers, who would you say is the most underrated or the toughest to perform and master that no one would realize?
Well, I mean, for me, playing all the Steve Lukather stuff as a guitar player was definitely a challenge. But he's not really underrated. Everybody kind of knows how.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah. So, is there anybody bass wise that you're like?
In the beginning, it was all tough.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, I'm going back to school.
Because this music is really kind of like jazz fusion. If you really look at the heart of it, there's a lot of jazz chords. I don't want to get too technical, but it's like there's a lot of jazz chords and a lot of key changes and stuff that you don't get in normal rock and roll or punk rock music. So you kind of like have to know your music theory to play this music. So
it's made us better players for sure.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I mean, I would imagine simply just trying to learn any of the Steely Dan catalog has got to be a challenge, and then
for sure
go uphill from there.
I mean, all of those guys are like the best studio guys ever, literally ever, to play on. Yeah. So you're like, okay, so how am I going to handle this? You know, but it's a good challenge.
How long did it take you until you guys felt like we can take this out and perform this in front of an audience with some confidence and knowing that they will get what you're trying to do, or that you'll be able to replicate these songs in a way where you're like not completely embarrassed for yourself and the writers of these songs?
It took a year to put the band together.
Yeah, just to find the right guys.
And it was like I would say probably about 3 or 4 months of intense rehearsals and just like rehearsing all the time till we got it right.
But to answer your question, we didn't know how people were going to react. We were like, we might get booed off the stage. We were definitely nervous the first time we played. Like, oh, let's see, not like to perform, but just to see how people would react. And it was, like I said before, it was like instant, like the crowd was packed. Everybody was going crazy, singing along all the songs. And we just kind of took off from there.
Did you feel confident in that rehearsal process? Or how long into that process before you were like, all right, I think we have something here, and who knows how anyone else is going to react, but between all of us in this room, we got it.
I knew we sounded good, especially when we got Phil, who's our lead singer. When he started, we brought him in, and it was like, okay, this guy can sing these songs, because that's one of the hardest part is finding somebody that can sing these songs. And you know, once we had him, I knew we sounded good.
Yeah, 100%.
So then I was just like, well, if you sound good, and you know, with Baba Bouy and Sailor Hawkins, like they had said they've been playing together for years, so they had the lights and the smoke and all that down. So like I thought it was good. I don't know about you. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I thought
no. I mean, I knew we were ready right away. I knew. I mean, we weren't the best when we first came out, but it got better and it got better as we played more and more. And we played so many shows the first year. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to book us at first. And then
what? Yacht-rock?
They're like, nah, we don't want that. And then a few people that, you know, that we've worked with before in other bands, they took a chance on us and it worked. So they like, all right, we want you guys every Thursday. We want you every weekend, you know? Yeah. All right. But now we've moved on to bigger venues. It's crazy, you know, 500, 1,200 seat arenas and stuff, or
in places we've never played before, you know,
in places we've never been. So word is out.
Yeah.
Well, and to that end, I know you mentioned, you know, being in 80s bands and things like that, and I've got a long history with 80s bands in Detroit. But what we saw when like the first 80s band came out here, they were the first and only ones on the scene, and they still are playing to this day and killing it. But then all of a sudden, all these other bands started popping up because they saw the success. So do you have people emerging trying to steal your thunder?
They're trying to steal our name. They're trying to, you know,
and they steal a lot of our stuff too, our wardrobe and
they dress like
dancing and that kind of thing. But hey,
this is the way it goes with all bands. When the 80s bands, when we did the 80s bands, everybody copied everybody because they see it's successful, so they think they can duplicate it. But we were first, so the early bird catches the worm for sure.
They don't have the Bouy family.
They don't.
That's
They don't.
right.
Have, yeah, they don't have it.
Seriously though, a big part of it is our chemistry that it just can't be duplicated. Like with Phil singing and all, like we're all literally like a band of brothers. Like even outside of the band, we all are talking and hanging out all the time. It's not just a business relationship, and I think that kind of comes through in the show and in the music.
Yeah, we all.
So you guys are just sharing hot tubs with family
Yeah,
and
very
as
Yes.
Yeah.
band members.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have you guys done a gig on an actual yacht yet?
Yeah.
Oh, a bunch of times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
For
Is
sure.
it harder? I would assume it's harder to play at sea than on dry land.
It's not hard.
As long as we haven't ever gone out when the sea was choppy. Generally,
Sure.
And we're not on like speedboats or anything like that. So it's
True. Yeah. So
But-
you're not doing like 3-hour tours. You're kind of like doing a longer.
3 hour tour.
Usually they're private parties,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the only difficult part
Is
about
loading
it is
onto
the
the ship.
load in and load out.
but we have crew for that now.
The crew
we-
has a crew.
Yeah,
have
we've
a
got
Yes.
That's awesome. Do they get fun names too?
Yes, they do actually.
Who-
We have our Taylor. We call him Admiral T because he's kind of like the tour manager. Who else do we have?
Okay, we don't have one for Kyle, do we? Oh yeah, Kyle Collada.
Kyle Collada. That's it.
Perfect.
I'd say all the names are good.
No, that one's awesome.
yeah.
I like Kyle Collada.
And how are you guys? I know, obviously, to harken back to the Kiss comparison, for many years not seeing out of their makeup, and that is their, Ace is always going to look like Ace. Do you guys take off the hat and sunglasses, or is that just like a verboten?
We kind of want to keep it like that. You know, we kind of want to. It's kind of cool.
You might see us in like the hat and sunglasses and a black T-shirt all together. But
I'll take that, sure.
Yeah, but generally we try to stay in uniform.
But people, they don't recognize us when we're walking through the audience.
Oh, it's funny.
They kind of look at us like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm 6'5", so I'm on stage. Like, it's pretty obvious who I am to me. And then I come off stage and people are just walking. They're great, aren't they? And I'm like, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And so, how did you guys survive the COVID lockdown? Because I'm assuming you're dry docked at that point.
We were landlocked, as we said.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we actually decided to do what we called the landlocked sessions, and that we basically decided to record a bunch of songs and make some videos, and because that's all we could do. We did a few live stream concerts as well. We played from the Whiskey A Go Go in front of an empty crowd and just live streamed it, which was really successful. But yeah, we made some videos. One in particular was we did a Billy Joel video for Just the Way You Are. And we filmed the video in Los Angeles during lockdown. And this is the time when nobody was going out. And so we literally we set up Sailor Hawkins drums in front of the sign of the Hollywood Bowl. You could never get away with that right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm walking down the street in front of Capitol Records and there's no cars on the street in front of Capitol Records, right? In the middle of the day. It's just so surreal. It felt like apocalyptic.
It was weird.
But also in the juxtaposition with the song, it's kind of really cool and really emotional when you watch the video. So if you haven't seen that, I would definitely say check that one out.
As kids who I imagine were dreaming of growing up and playing the Viper Room and the Whiskey, were you wearing captain's hats in those dreams, or what were you wearing and what were you performing?
I was not wearing captain's hat.
I was having long hair and a rocker and the whole deal.
And I was kind of like a grunge kid. I had like the baggy jeans and the chain wallet, and that was kind of my thing. But yeah, we never thought that this would be the thing. You know what I mean? It was I just joined it for fun. I was like, yeah, I love this music. I'm going to join. And then now it's kind of become my life, And I guess that just goes to show you just never know.
I'll tell you what blows my mind is I've played the Whiskey before with my original bands back in the day, way back in the day, early 90s. And, you have to pay and buy tickets and you have to sell the tickets and this and that. What really trips me out is they're paying us to play there. And I love it. We're getting paid to play there. They want us. They're asking us to play there. It's like that never happened before.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's wonderful. Where do you guys go from here? You're touring. You've got the videos. Are they all out? Is there more coming out soon?
we've got some things in the works right now that we can't talk about yet, but
Perfect.
they're going to be coming out soon.
We are busy at home, we'll say.
We're doing a lot of things. It's not, when we're not playing, we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
We're constantly
We're always
busy.
working.
Just lots of hot tubs.
Yeah.
Different.
Hot tub.
Okay.
After party all winter long.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, you will love Yachtley Crew, the titans of soft rock. Check out their website, yachtlycrew.com. They are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where they are all at Yachtley Crew.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website and don't forget to leave us a review.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?